Hello everyone, welcome to Intekspace's video. We're getting the best render settings in Cinema 4D. Alright, so right now, before we get into this, this is just a simple little object that I have created for my AP art class. And basically the theme was Moonlight on Snow. So the only thing I could think of was some BS white and blue color, and I don't know, like, the themes honestly kind of make no sense to me, like, in that matter, but I just tried my best to think of something like that. So I just thought something crazy like this. So anyway, we're gonna get started with, getting good render settings when it comes to Cinema 4D. Because I noticed, well, I used to have did this myself, and I can say that I was part of this, where I would create that one awesome photo or that one awesome animation, and then all of a sudden, when I go to render out that picture, it would take, up to 2 hours just to render, or even 6 hours, and it's kind of crazy. And when it comes to animations, it would take like at least 2 days just to render out. That's because each frame was taking at least 4 minutes just to do. That's a little absurd, actually. So with this new new version I have, R15, with my much more better computer, I have just dedicated myself to kind of, getting something that's under 90 seconds at the very most. Like, if I'm that desperate to kind of create it, I would do 90 seconds. If I knew it was going to be a quick animation and whatnot, I would do at least 60 seconds per frame, kind of like, rendering. And when it comes to images, I would hope that it takes less than 5 minutes. If not, I just stop after 5 and I just go right back into the render settings. So anyway, this is what it looks like when it's rendered out with the default settings on. And as you can see, that took literally 1 second to do it, as you can see at the bottom right here. And that's a little crazy. So we're going to improve this quite a bit, because it looked like as if it just came out of the whole display mode, or how it is right now. So we're just going to go to the render settings, and I already updated the output actually, and this is not what I wanted. I wanted a 1080. Oh, there you go. They already updated for me. This is what happens when you lock the ratio. Anything that you change it to, it will do the same for the height, or vice versa. So anyway, we're going to skip over the output, save, and multipass. We're just going to go straight into anti-aliasing. And this is going to be a still image. I'm not animating this thing. And so for anti-aliasing, I usually put it from geometry to best, obviously. I'm pretty sure everyone who uses Cinema 4D would do that. So this is just a tip on how to get, best render settings, what's like, the best timing that you can possibly get. And with that, I did 1 by 1 and then 2 by 2. And now we're going to add some more effects, in which they should kind of help you get better quality and quite the improvement when it comes to timing. So I added ambient occlusion and global illumination because they're from the effect pass, or the effect tab. And you have all these other ones. The only one I usually normally would add is a sharpen filter. That brings this down to 30. I personally like how it looks. That's just me. So anyway, with ambient occlusion, I really don't decrease any of these numbers. I mean, the least I would do is decrease the maximum samples from 64 to 48 or even 32. So that's one thing that I would do. And for global illumination, this is where it really kicks in and, kind of eats up your time. So normally one thing you could do is change the gamma from 1 to 0.1, but I'm not going to do it for this case. I'm going to leave it at 1. Because that means that it's saying that they're basically telling it, I don't really care how it looks, just give me what it looks like at the end of the whole rendering process. So I'm actually going to add a secondary method. Actually, wait, I'm going to change the primary to Irradiance Cache Legacy, and I'm going to do the second one as Irradiant Cache. And for the diffuse depth, I'm going to leave it at 2. I think that's the lowest you can go. Yep, 2 is the lowest to begin with. And for the gamma, actually, I will put it to 0.1 just to show you guys. And for samples, I always leave it at medium. And for the Radiance Cache Legacy, you can put this to low and put the smoothing to weak, but I kind of like smoothing when it comes to rendering. So I would just leave that medium, but like I said, record density, I would bring that to low. Cache files and options, I don't really mess with options, but the cache files basically have an auto save, auto load, and just allow when it comes to animations and whatnot. So without further ado, we're going to see how long this render will take. And as you can see, obviously this is taking much more longer than a simple second. It's actually coming up with very huge blocks to begin with, actually. And so if this takes longer than 1 minute, I will stop the animation or the rendering process, and I will just get right back into it and make sure everything is correct the way it is. And this is looking a lot more different than how I would expect it to look. And one thing actually I should do right now is probably pause the recording just to save you guys some time. Alright, so this is the output that we get when we render it out, and I am actually liking this a lot more than from my AP artwork that I did when I submitted it. So it took 1 minute and 35 seconds, which I am not proud of, but however, we can go into the settings and simply change that up a bit. Now for global illumination, for the samples, I'm going to put this to low, and I'm just going to leave this the same thing, and I'm actually going to take off the radiance cache, so I'm just going to put that to none. And that's when I'm just going to leave the smoothing to weak. And then we're going to give this another go. So I'm going to pause the recording and then let you guys know how this turns out to be. Alright, so as you can see, that brought it down from 1 minute 35 seconds to 57 seconds. Which I am much more impressed rather than, the simple 95 seconds. And that sharpen filter really kicked in with some of these lines, and I can see those details, which I'm actually kind of liking. But anyway, that's going to be the end of this video, guys. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to Intekspace, and I'll see you guys later.